So today we're going to be doing a haircut, and I think I'm going to be tilting it more so you can see more of it. So my mannequin here is pre-colored. It's basically one length. I've done different shades of a soft cinnamon, soft light copper, and soft copper blonde, a combination all the way through. But it's just one length. It's one length and heavy. So I love to cut with the razor. Now, it's not the perfect tool for everybody, but for the look that I'm creating today, the razor's perfect. So I'm going to start off, and if anyone knows the way I cut, is I am going to start off in a very simplistic way, and I do everything in a very simplistic way. Very simple. So any of you that are sassoons trained or Tony and Guy trained, which believe me, I wish I could have been. Hi Susan Blackburn, hi Martha. I really wish I could have been trained by sassoons or Tony and Guy, but unfortunately it was just not in my career path. I just went into a salon, started working, and before I knew it, 10 years had gone by, and I was cutting the Sonia Dove way and the Christopher Dove way. So please bear with me the way I cut. It's very simplistic. I cut point A, I cut point B, and I join in between. So it's like connecting the dots, that game in England. So first things first, I always start off with my perimeter. That is in every haircut I do, because my philosophy is once you've got your perimeter done, then you can go inside and start your inside layering. But then what you can do is you can connect the inside here to the outside to connect the dots. If I don't have my perimeter cut first, I'm going from the inside of the haircut to an unknown length in the perimeter, if that makes sense. I could be cutting all the way up to here, and yet after my haircut's going to be cut to here. So that's my basic beginning of the haircut. So combing the hair down in its natural fall, all the way down. This model, she has asked for a center parting. She likes to wear a center parting. So we've got a central parting here. She doesn't wear it on the sides, but if they did wear it on the side, you would put the side parting in. If someone likes to flip their hair from side to side, I would definitely make the parting in the middle if they want to flip it. So, first things first, very simple. I have prepped the hair with some of my Elements leave-in conditioner. That enables me to comb it nice and easily because it's very, very thick, long hair. So I'm going to be starting off with the basic haircut, and then after I am going to be going in with the detailing. So I can still see a lot of people, lots of hearts, thank you, I appreciate it, coming in. But I must say, I want to make sure that you can see the whole mannequin of the haircut. Actually, I might ask Nicholas, can I just ask you a quick question? That's okay, you can come in. You see how all the questions are coming up? Yes. I'm going to be cutting down here. I've put the angle as low as I can. Is that all I can do?
For the questions or for your angle?
For people to be able to see the haircut.
Oh, no. They don't see the questions. They have a different format. They can choose to have the questions.
Okay.
So you concentrate on your framing.
Okay,
so this
great.
Is what we do. Here we go.
Okay, so I just want a thumbs up from maybe Andrew Dunn or Nick Conn that you can see the bottom of the hair. Oh, Nick Conn says it's great. Perfect. Thanks, Nick. There's the questions are up to here, and I can't see. You don't see the questions. You're good to go. Thank you. Thank you. So, first things first. The back, the perimeter. So the way I do that is I am going to be using my razor. It is a feather razor with a feather blade in, and I use it, I hold it like a pen. So it's just like I'm writing, and I hold it like that. Now this razor does collapse in two, but I always use it like that. There are some times that I use it like that as well. So you're going to see me hold it fist firm on the main base of the razor. So I'm very quick in my sectioning. I keep all my sections in one go at once. So for any of you Sassoons or Tony and Guy people, please don't freak out. This is not the only way to do a haircut. There are many ways, but I don't take many sections. I just want to say that up front. So mannequin head down, so the head's forward, combing it all down. I'm going to take a center section here and pull the hair down really nice and firm. You can see this is my non-working hand. And then I'm going in with my razor, and this is the action before I do it. I'm going to be going in with in. So what I'm actually doing is going forward and down. So if I showed you vertically, I'm going forward and down. I'm not bringing the razor back up against the hair. Imagine that you are going through a tunnel and you are crawling through a tunnel and you're scooping out a tunnel with your hands, and you're literally just going forward and down. So what it gives me this jagged edge, but a very soft perimeter here. So now I do want to say something. This is a great edge. My graduation is only on the last quarter of an inch. I am not doing this. So that's what I've done. Let me show you what I am not doing. And I'm going to do it on a piece of hair down here for you all to see. I'm not doing this. I'm not going high and low. I am not doing that at all. That is too much depth. I want a more shallow depth, and I'm going down, so it's scooping in and down, but I'm only working on the last quarter inch of the hair. So let's get another section done. Comb the hair down. I bring my fingers down and I look to where I last left off. This is my last piece of hair there. So I place my razor in there because that's my last section. Place it in and I do it again. Scoop, 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 scoop. And really hold the hair firm and really push with the razor. And keep going until you get all the way through. Now you do need a fresh blade with doing this, because imagine how much hair this is. Actually, I'm going to re-pick that up again and do it more. So imagine this is a lot of hair. This mannequin is not only very long, but it's very, very thick, extremely thick as well. Now, you can see I've got long pieces compared to here. All I do is I go in and I just take them off with my razor. Any long pieces you have or any tags, hold it between your fingers and just take it off. Now, this could be just a haircut on its own. I'm going to turn the mannequin round. I'm going to do the side. Make sure you can see. Carry on round the side, combing the hair down. Turn it a little bit. Okay, I want you to be able to see where we last left off. So combing the hair down, that's where we last finished here. This is the part we're going to do next. I want to make sure my back is not to you, so I'm just going to turn her around a little. And I'm just going to do exactly the same. Pull the hair down, big section, That's where I last finished. And going in, scoop, 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 scoop with my razor. And I do this for when I'm doing one length bobs that I want a shattered edge. I do this for many, many, many haircuts that are more one length. But not everybody likes a razor cut. So that's something you have to check in with your guest first, because many times there's been so many negative things about razor cutting, and some clients don't like it at all. Working it through. I can already feel that my razor is getting blunt on me, so I'm going to be changing the blade soon. The reason for this is this mannequin is blonde, was very, very blonde, and she has been bleached and lightened twice. So she has a lot of lightness in there. See, this is a bit longer. I hold it between my fingers and I just take it off with my razor. And I am going to change my blade. Oh, love a good scoop. Oh my God. I love it. Oh, Andrew, I so miss your sense of humor. So miss your sense of humor. So I'm just changing my blade, because if you could only see how thick this mannequin is, it is mad. So where I last left off there, coming in with my razor. Oh, this is much easier. See, straight the way through. Take off any long pieces. And then finally this side. I'm just going to quickly go through the other side and do it with you. But there's step number 1, a soft razored edge. So remember, the graduation is only on the last quarter of an inch. How are you doing? Watching from Southern California. Oh gosh. Actually, I'm going to be honest with you. I have a little holiday home in Mexico, and I am actually in Mexico at the moment. I do live in Los Angeles, but to be honest, the salon that I work in, it's not open yet. So it was open for 2 days, and I got all my clients psyched up and everything, and it closed. So I am still here in Mexico. I love that analogy, like a hot knife through butter. Absolutely, Nick Con, absolutely. That's the feeling. Always change your blade if you need to. Hello, Sonia. Hi, Marianne. Hi, man. Good to see you. Hi, Ashok. So we've got one side done here. And now I'm going to do the other side. So this is just straightforward. Comb the hair down. Have the mannequin tilted forward a little bit, because it's a lot easier to cut this area. And combing the hair down. Big sections. This is all in one section. This is not subdivided. Now, if you prefer to subdivide, you can do. It's whatever your comfort zone is. So that's where I last finished. And now I'm carrying on. Place the razor horizontally there, and that's my first scoop. And now just scoop, scoop, scoop until it goes all the way through, and it's down, down, down. I'm not bringing the razor back up at all. It's always going down, and it's going forward and down, forward and down. And for anyone that's just joined, at the very beginning, I gave an example of what it's like. This scooping action, and it's very, very simple. I'm going to show it again horizontally as I work through another section. I want to make sure it's in there. This is the boring part. The fun part is at the front. The front is going to be so awesome. So hold the hair, see where you last left off, go in with the razor, and then scoop, 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 scoop. Because of the texture and density of this mannequin, I have to say, I'm actually thinking in my head as I'm cutting it, it would have been much, much quicker and easier for the hair to come off if it had been with the scissors, because it is so bleached. I mean, this mannequin needs a short haircut because it's very, very bleached, but it's working, but I am going to have to change my blade a few times. I can tell that for sure. Working through, not going too high. I'm not going very high. I'm just working on that last 1/4 inch. And I am actually going to change my razor again because this is such a lot of hair. So excuse me for that. Hi, David Kingston. Great to see you. And this haircut is so popular. It is so, so popular. And that's why I wanted to share it for our global community, because this modern day shag is really quite popular at the moment. So I'm just going to turn my mannequin around. Okay, we're almost there. Almost, I'm going to pull it down. This is the part that I've got to finish off cutting. Oh yeah, wow. See, the razor goes through it really quick when it's sharp. When you don't have a sharp razor, then that's a problem. Last section to do. That's my shortest point here. You could just see it, and then place the razor and go through. And then we've got our perimeter lens, so she's quite a bit shorter. If you do have any long pieces or any tags, there's many ways to remove them. There's one there. Pinch it between your fingers. Let me pull. Pinch it between your fingers and take it off, or lay your finger underneath if you have a feather razor, and you can take it off that way. So now to the front. First thing I need to do is check that both sides are the same, because when you're teaching for the camera, sometimes with twisting and turning, both sides are not the same. So I want to just check that, because that's going to be an important point. Oops. Let me put her head back there. So let's see where we're at. So there we have a very soft razored bob. Going to just check both sides that they're the same. And I'm checking through feeling. Yep, everything's all good here. Hi, Shay. Shay Dempsey's asking what blades I use. I use the feather blade. I actually like the feather razor. I love it a lot. But this is the only razor I have at home with me in lockdown, but the blade is the feather blade. In Los Angeles, I have 5 feather razors. I love them, but they don't fold. So we've all experienced this in lockdown. We're having to use what we have. So rather than me say no to doing a feather cut, a razor cut, I wanted to say yes and just make the most of it. So I love the feather razor. This is not the feather razor, but it is the feather blade. Thanks, Shay, for that question. So next thing. The front. Now, the front is the most important part of this haircut. So anyone that's watching, really take this into account. So my model has a middle parting. We've got one length on the sides. I am going to wet this down a little. See, it's drying. So I'm just going to use my water spray to wet the front down. And I want to describe something that makes a shag different to a shaped front. So I've done a little drawing for you. And what we're going to do, we are going to now comb the hair. And this is the most important part of the haircut. We are going to comb the hair down. Now, we're not bringing this hair forward. We're letting the hair fall in its natural way, combing it down. And we are going to separate a triangle here at the front, and it's going to be small. So let me show you something that I drew for you all. We are going to be doing 3 sections in this front. This is what we're going to be doing. We're going to do section 1 and then 2 and 3. Now you can see how this piece is very narrow. That is very narrow. That's about 1/2 inch wide. It's not much at all. Then we are going to blend it steeply down. That's what makes more of a shag cut. This up here, this is like having a fringe, where you have a fringe and then it's blended down to the sides. These two fronts are so different. This is more like a fringe area going into length. This is more of the shaping of a shag cut. And I'm going to put this back up at the end as well. I know, sorry, the writing's back to front. This says narrow, and it's the right way for a shag. This says too wide, and it's the wrong shaping for a shag. Because we're also used to cutting fringes out to about here, maybe to here, or even to here, or even to here. I do it all the time, that's a fringe, and then I blend it into the sides. This is a whole different look. So that first middle section is going to be narrow, very, very narrow. It's probably going to be about that. A good guide, a really good guide is to be at the beginning of the eyebrows. So let me show you what that means. You see the eyebrow here, and you see the eyebrow here. That is going to be the width. It's usually no wider than that. It can be narrower, but definitely not wider. So beginning of the eyebrow, beginning of the eyebrow. And actually, just so it makes it easier for anyone that's just joined, let me clip that out the way and clip that hair out the way. So you can see how wide. That is only about 3/4 of an inch. Okay? Now what we're going to do, same action, combing the hair down. Let me put her head back. Oops, if I can. Ugh. I will say I was nervous about doing this mannequin because the hole in this mannequin's head is so little. There we are. It's so small compared to others. I'm used to using pivot point ones, and this is not a pivot point one. So bringing the hair down, I want it to fall around here. Gentle pulling down, no elevation, but really gently pulling down here because of cowlicks and things. And I'm going to go in the same way I did the perimeter, exactly the same way as the perimeter. So we're going to go down, 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 down. And of course it just comes off. It's nice because the density here is very thin. So it's got a soft edge here, and then we're going to go down. So let's do this side first. So remember I said about how I have a way of doing point A, which is here. So this is point A. This is now point B down here. And all I have to do is connect the dots. Move those around. Yes, all I'm doing is connecting the dots. And connecting the dots is to the length of her bob, which is here, and the beginning of there. And so imagine if you had a laser, let's pull that back. If you had a laser, you would just go zzz all the way down. So next stage, not pulling it forward, not pulling it out. I want to make sure I don't get in the way. I pull the hair down. I use the side of the razor, and I'm just going to gently just go down, 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 and all the way down. Now, if you can't do this in one go, like I can't, I've just finished here because I've got small hands. All you do is you just comb it and you pick it up again. So I finish there. I'm going to go down and down and down. I am going to be showing this haircut finished on the global community because I won't have time to dry it. So I do want everyone to know that. You see that long piece there? I don't know if you can see that. Just take that off. So you want a steep blend all the way down, all the way to the very edge. Now, next tip, and an important one, really important tip, is, do you see this is like a bob corner? Because we're shaped from here going down, and then it goes like a bob. Round this out. That's what makes a shag more modern. So when we get down here, you can actually see it. I turn my mannequin. See, I've blended it from here to here into my bottom length, but it's square. This needs rounding out. So all we do is the last part, we just go in and we just round that corner off. So there's no corners. Everything about this haircut is very rounded. So that's blending in from side number 1 with a rounded edge. And now let's do the other side. Turn my mannequin around. We've got our shortest point here at the front. We've got our longest point at the side. So there's my longest point, there's my shortest point, and I'm just going to blend the two through. Actually, and I have to have I need to look at the time. So Nicholas, there, I want my boyfriend to tell me what time it is. So that's my shortest point. This is my longest point, putting the razor in and just going down, all the way down. Nicholas, may I have the time, please? I can't find anything with time on. Thank you. Could you see if you could put that iPad up so I can see the time? Thank you. So that's just blending. See, now I need to blend it more here. That's not enough of a blend. That's too steep. All the way down, remembering that last section at the bottom here cannot be like a bob. It's got to be rounded. All that rounded, and it's still not rounded enough for my liking. See that corner? I don't want that corner. Okay. Now this could be another haircut in itself. It really could. But that's going to get us a nice steep shag, and you'll see when I send you the dried pictures, the front goes immediately into these pieces coming out. So it's a fun haircut because the difference is the pieces immediately from the fringe part. So these go out like wings, and then these go out and these go out all the way through to the ends. Now, someone's saying they don't have them in their country. You can use an open razor. You can use the only thing with an open razor is be careful of your fingers. I used to teach with open razors, and it was very, very hard to teach with open razors, I must admit. So next part of the haircut is the layering. Now, I do like to layer with a razor because I like to keep consistency all the way. I'm just going to let the mannequin down a bit because I'm going to start layering now. Look what's making my mannequin stay up. That's because the gaffer's tape, couldn't find any here. We just have to adapt. So now we're going to start the layering, and the layering's very easy. It's rounded layers. There's no corners anywhere, and that's what gives the shag a nice soft look. So let's put my mannequin in profile. So what I'm going to be doing next is combing the hair, and it's basically a one length bob with a shattered edge and a shag front. That could be a style. As it is. And in fact, when I blow dry it, I'll show different variations, but that could absolutely be the style. And what it is it's that the difference now on the shags compared to in the 80s is the fact that the fringe part, this part, is very narrow, and then it drops immediately here. The other way of doing it, back maybe in the 80s, it was more of a fringe. It was a wider fringe. So that's what makes the difference between the two. And the reason it's narrow fringe, it gives you then the chance to have all these little soft pieces caressing around the face. And that's what clients love. They really do. So the layering now. We are going to start with taking a section on the top, and this is very simple layering. I take a mohawk section all the way through the center of the hair. And this is a big section, and we're just going to do a very simple layer. We are not going to be joining the layers in with the very front fringe area. So this fringe here it's not blended into this fringe here. It is blended in to the hair behind it on the curve of the head. This is almost like a disconnection, and you'll see why in a minute, because the layers would be too short. So let's take a section. Lifting it up. So this is a very large mohawk section of hair. Very large. Okay. So you can see the fringe. Let me show it you there. This is the fringe. This is her fringe part. That I am not going to be using that as my guide. I'm going to be going past that guide. I'm going to let that drop out. You see it's dropped out. Now let me pull back. The fringe has dropped out because the layers would be too short if I blended it in with that fringe. So I just want to double check you can all see. This is a mohawk section taken through the center of the head. It's about 1 inch deep, and it just runs all the way through the center like a spine. Like our spine. That's going to be my guide. And if any of you haven't layered with a razor, at first it feels a bit weird. I go under my fingers. So let me flop that hair over the other way so you can see. And I'm going to go cut, 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 and I get longer, 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 longer until I run out of hair. So basically, I've taken off that big corner. Then I'm going to work down. Now I'm working down because I only had my mohawk section up to here. Now I'm going to work down the back, lifting it up. And remember I said about joining the dots? Let's see what we have. This is the next part of the mohawk. As I lift up, can you see that's my ending here. Remember I went up. This is my finish line up here. Let me pull that back so you can see. And all that has to come off now is that section, this piece in between. Very simple. And so I lift my fingers up and I join the two together. And that's I want to double check that I got it all until I run out of hair. So that's my guide for my layers. So basically, the hair, if the hair was pulled up, it would be to a point, and we're just taking off that point. We're literally just taking off that triangle, so it's rounded. Now all I do is I take a piece of that center spine, that mohawk, and I just do simple pie sections, like what we learnt at school. Very simple, very straightforward. So I take a piece of my guide. Let's lift this up. There, I can see my guide underneath here. That's all that has to come off. I just want to make sure you can see it. Let me lift that up. If I bend that back, there's my guide underneath. So I just take that off. And it's not much of a layer. It's really not much of a layer. And I go all the way round because there's one thing that we're going to be doing lastly that makes a difference to give it even more of a shag feel. So I'm just going to take huge sections and just take the hair off. So there's my shortest point. So here is my shortest point. Here is my shortest point, and I'm taking this off in between. And I just do it like this. Now, if you want to cut it on top of your fingers, you can. It's up to you. There's no wrong or right. You can definitely cut it so that it's on top and not underneath, because cutting underneath is not easy, I have to say. Here is more to come off. There's my layer. Remember my beginning point. There it is. It's my layer there. I'm now taking pie sections all the way around the head, making sure I take in a piece of that center all the way around. So I'm going from short to long. Let's pick up that piece and let's look at it. And it is drying. I'm sorry about that. I will wet it down, but I just don't want to lose time. There's my shortest point. There's my shortest point. And everything in between comes off. Now, if you want, you can do it like this. Some people do it like that, or you could do it like this. It's up to you. It's whatever feels best for you. There is no right and no wrong in it at all. And then just check that front bit. Want to make sure I've got the front. See, there's some blending to be, corner to be taken off here at the front. There it is. There's that corner. Can you see it? And I'm going to take that off. I'll take it off like that on top. A bit under there. Okay, so that's one side layered. And all I do is I just go round to the other side and take a piece of the inside, take a piece of the outside. I'm going to work quickly now because I just want to show you the very last step, because you might get a few aha moments from the last step. Combing the hair down, making sure, you see I had to recomb it. That's because I couldn't see my guide. I'd lost my guide and I couldn't find it. My section was too big. Up there it is. There's my short piece there. You can see it. There's my other guide, that's my perimeter, and this stuff in between has to come off. So I'm just going to take it, I'll take it off like that because I think it's more visual. But you can take it off, as long as you take it off, it does not matter how you do it at all. Do another piece, we're almost there, through here. Lifting the hair up. I can see my guide, it's under there. So I'm going to go from short to long. Perfect. And then the last section here at the front. Now, this mannequin is horrendously thick. When I say horrendously thick, it's because she's had so many lightening services, and also not only that, it's a very, very thick mannequin. Before I cut that, I just want you to see it. We're now on the front. Let me turn her around. We're now on this front, and you can see, if I turn myself round, there's the short point. There's her shortest point. I'm working on this side of her. There's her longest point here, and everything else in between has to come off. Perfect. Perfect. It's amazing how quick the razor blades really get blunt very quickly. This is my shortest point to longest point. Right, so we have finished the layers all round. And now the last part of the haircut. Let's look at it. Oh, thank you, Tony, for saying I do a good job of explaining everything. So now we've got our layer, and really and truthfully, I will not have time to dry it. I'm going to actually maybe let her air dry, but I normally cut with the razor wet, so I was not able to cut it dry. I'm not good at cutting it dry, but we have one last thing. You wait till you see this dry. I'm going to post it up, probably give me an hour. Within an hour, I'm going to post it up and have it blow dried, and it's going to be on the page. And what I'll do is I'll let it either air dry for one look and then blow dry it for another. And then I'll maybe do a little bit of flat brushing it just to make it a little bit smoother. But you can get the gist of it and see it. It's really opens up the hair. It's great because it's rounded. It gives a lot of texture around the face, because these pieces here, they're all like these wispy, sexy pieces. They're lovely. I love the pieces around the side. And you can see with only a small, narrow fringe. Imagine if this fringe was a lot wider. It would be a whole different haircut. It really would. Last part, very last thing, is the nape area here. As in any haircut, we all know that clients have hair here, but from behind the ear, they have double density. So double the amount of hair here compared to there. Very simple way of dealing with that, and this is what I do all the time. I just take a horizontal section across the bottom. Just going to pin the hair up and show you what I do, and it's a great quick way of reducing bulk at the back when you want the bulk at the back to be fine-tuned down and it not to be too heavy. I'm just going to show you what I do, and I only do this from the occipital down. So from the top of the ear, I take a section from the top of the ear to the occipital, and I only do it here, and this is a great technique. So watch me. I take my razor blade and I'm going to turn it vertically. So I mean like that. It's not horizontal. So it's not horizontal. I'm going to turn it round vertically. So imagine you've got blinds, drapes. You know those plastic drapes that come in slats? I think everyone knows what I mean. This is what we do. Is you comb the hair down, comb it down, and I work on from the middle of the hair down. not too near the scalp at all. Let me just make sure you can all see. But from the middle of the hair down, and imagine you're putting your fingers through the drapes. So you're putting your hands in. You are putting the razor blade straight in. So let's see the best way for you to see this, because this is very, very important step. You're taking your razor and it's on its side, and you put it in and you just slide down, and you take out little pieces of hair. You put it in and slide it down. You put it in and slide it down. Put it in and slide it down. What it does, it takes out slithers of hair, thin slithers. Now, I've done this side. You don't repeat it. It's too strong to repeat. You would just do it. I'll do it more speedy now. Putting in, slide down. Putting in, slide down. In, slide down. Vertically straight in and slide down. Okay, doing it on this piece here. In, slide down. In, slide down. Slide down, slide down. You work all the way across, and then you drop this hair, and then you would do it on the next section above where you worked, making sure you do not go any higher than the occipital area. So let's pin that up. We're almost there, folks, almost there. Pin this up. Now I take this hair above it. I don't take the previous hair I did. I take the hair above it. I put my razor in, and I'm just sliding down, in, down, just slide down. And this reduces the bulk in that back area, so you get a nice uniform look. And the finer the hair, the thinner you do it, like channels, absolutely. Taking out channels, you're putting it in, you're just channeling it, but not too high up to the occipital, not too high up to the scalp at all, just in through this area. Now, one quick tip, when you've done this once on the haircut and the guest comes in again for a recut, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 5 weeks later, in our case in California, because the salons aren't open, not at all, had to get that one in. You would not do this again. You only do this every second time. You would do the rest of the haircut, but you would only do this every second time. So this is a way of taking out weight. So the reason we have to do this at the back is, as we all know, no one has hair here. We have half the amount of hair on the front because we don't grow hair here, and we have double the amount of hair at the back. So that is the reason why. So I do that, and that's really it finished. I do have to maybe look at the time. Oh yes, 12:51. Oh, that was lucky. So I'm going to show on the Wella community the finished look, because I do want to let it air dry, and also it's still sopping wet. And also a little quick shout out to our Wella community. Wella North America did an event called Fractured But Not Broken, and Susan Inglis is has put it up on the community. If you still feel that you want to donate, please feel free to donate. And it was a great event. It was Robert Labetta, myself, and Diane Stevens, many artists, Darren Ambrose, Dimitri from Russia. It was a fabulous event. It really was. So if anyone's interested in watching it, I did post the section that I did up there. And if you really feel that you can donate, please do, because it's for COVID, it's for all the stylists, with COVID, and Wella had joined together with the PBA. So, oh yes, gracias Wella, sí. Actually, you won't believe, whoever, Aisha Udin, I'm actually going from here to my Spanish class in a few minutes. So this is perfect timing. Thank you everybody for watching. Thank you Andrew and Nick Con for your incredible feedback. It really feels great, it does. Love you all, stay safe. Please check out my YouTube, Sonia Dove Hair. I am literally putting all my education on my YouTube, and of course I love to educate. Thank you Andrew for everything you do. You're a trooper, you really are. I'm addicted to watching you, it's so fantastic. And Nick, thank you very much, Nick Con from Canada. We are all Wella family, and hopefully one day we can get together and we can give each other huge big hugs, lots of hugs and lots of love, and of course share a little drink together. Can't miss that one out, can we? Thank you everyone. Bye bye.